Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Not as hot today. It'll still be humid, though. Clouds and sun with a high of 87. Patchy clouds, low 71 tonight. Partly sunny, high 89 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zaire.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
I think it's time that we're all honest with each other. You get your priorities straight. You get public safety where it needs to be. You get your fire department and police department functioning at a progressive level. And then, when you have the money in the bank, you can spend it however you see fit.
The KEEL Morning Show with Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Breaking news and trending talk on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Good morning, 3 past 6 o'clock. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Boy, is there. Local news, Erin's up next.
Police officers are ticked off today. We'll talk about that this morning. BRF, could they be on their way out? And if you want to visit the aquarium, you got to wait a little longer.
Boy, is everybody ticked off today, except for a handful of people. The story that just won't go away continues to be in the headlines. We'll talk about that, plus Fletcher and sports, traffic and weather, and it's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on KEEL.
The KEEL Morning Report, now on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
The Police Association calling out the city for spending money basketball instead of officers. Matt Parker has that.
The Shreveport Police Officers Association has released a statement blasting the city for ignoring their needs, yet proposing a $100 million plus sports complex. The association says that for 11 years, they haven't been able to get pay raises or new equipment due to a lack of funding. They feel using $30 million for a new sports complex is a slap in the face of every officer in the city. Shreveport CAO Brian Crawford responded to the statement by saying officers get a 2% raise every year and that the city has spent nearly $5 million on new police vehicles. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Mayor Ollie Tyler talks about our problems of the past with sports teams.
I say that this is a one-time opportunity. It is unlike what people try to compare it to. You know, people who are successful had to have some failures before they got to be successful. So if people just stop doing anything, then to me, that is worse than failure.
A final vote on the proposal could come September 12th. Could BRF be on the way out at University Health? Reportedly, Governor John Bel Edwards is making moves to oust BRF as the state's partner for safety net hospitals in Shreveport and Monroe. Recently, BRF refused to sign a new contract because they felt the terms were unfair. Edwards was supposed to meet with local lawmakers today to discuss getting rid of BRF and look at alternative options, but those plans were changed due to Tropical Depression Harvey. However, both sides are still open to making a deal if terms can be reached. If you were planning to visit the new Shreveport Aquarium this month, well, you'll have to wait a little longer. Jake Woods, a spokesman, says that Planet Aqua Group is delaying the opening of the aquarium until late September or early October. Woods says some of the plans for the aquarium have changed, and the group has decided to add additional attractions and a new dome. The governor meeting with GOSEP to get updates on Tropical Storm Harvey. State climatologist Barry Keim says the system will be more of a rainmaker for most of Louisiana, but areas around the coast are looking at more complicated circumstances. He says it's not the time to be fishing in the Gulf.
Now, southwest and south central Louisiana could see some modest storm surge along the coast on the order of a couple of feet, but with high surf on top of that, bringing very dangerous rip current conditions along the coastal zone.
Calcasieu Parish Director of Emergency Preparedness Dick Grimial says they anticipate a lot of rain, and depending on the track, storm surge is also a possibility.
The rainfall seems pretty certain, and they're calling for 10 to 15 inches of rain with some localized areas, possibly as much as 25 inches.
Forecasters say Harvey could become a hurricane by tomorrow. A man was killed in Manny after his truck was hit by a train. According to police, the accident happened on Highway 6 Witnesses say the man in the truck ignored flashing lights to keep off the track. The impact caused the man to be ejected from his truck, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. Only one winning ticket for the Powerball jackpot from last night. It's worth $758.7 million. The winning ticket was sold in Massachusetts. LSU quarterback Danny Etling excited about being named the starter when the Tigers hit the field September 2nd against BYU in Houston. Etling says when Coach O broke the news to him, he initially joked that he needed to discuss an academic issue.
I was like, I'm in grad school. What can I possibly have issues with me? What have I done in the first week of grad school? He kind of realized, told me quickly it was a joke and everything, and told me I'd be the starter. So it was really cool to hear and awesome. And called my parents right after.
The Tigers are ranked 13 in the AP preseason poll. Partly cloudy today, the high temp only 87 degrees. Right now it's 75. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
The KEEL.
Good morning, 9 past 6 o'clock. It's 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Why, it's Thursday morning already. Traffic update starting us off. Here's Ruben.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Hamilton Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Not as hot today. It'll still be humid, though. Clouds and sun with a high of 87. Patchy clouds, low 71 tonight. Partly sunny, high 89 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Your credit card companies love you.
Morning, Robert. How are you?
I'm excellent, ma'am. You got your vote yesterday, 5.
William Bradford. He is on the team. It's not just a Nolly Tyler thing, because let me tell you, the cross. Let me tell you, the cross by. Let me tell you, the cross Bayou corridor is going to really spur that growth that we need. I mean, I think it's a win-win. I think we.
Good morning. It's 12 past 6 o'clock. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
I couldn't go out in public yesterday.
The Ollie Dome.
Because that was it.
Arena. That's all anybody.
That's
people
it.
from Bossier, people from Houghton,
Everywhere.
people from Stonewall. That's all they want to talk about.
That's it.
Is the proposed what is it now, $135 million
Something
arena?
like that, yeah. It's going to be a massive complex.
And I got to tell you, and tell me that I'm wrong, but I think you'll have to agree. Nobody thinks it's a good idea.
It's 95% no.
Look, here's what I said to Fletcher in the hall. I said, what's the company out of Birmingham?
It was something Realty.
Fealty Realty, whatever it happens to be. What do they know that none of us do? They're not in the business to lose money. They're willing to write a check for in excess of $100 million.
Hoping people will come to that area to shop.
No, stop. No, they're not hoping. This is their job.
They're banking on it, yeah.
They are willing to
risk it.
No, they don't risk things.
For the biscuit.
They don't do risk. They don't gamble. They don't roll the dice. These are people whose jobs is to make money for themselves and their people. And they don't do things that they don't consider to be a sure thing.
November of 2019, will you and I be sitting here talking and going, wow, that is awesome.
It'll be
You got to go see it.
The boardwalk was awesome when it opened.
Yes, it was.
Bellagio was awesome when it opened.
Yep.
And in their own ways, they're still kind of awesome, but neither of those, let's be blunt,
are huge successes.
Are what? Neither of those are originally what they planned them to be. Now, yesterday morning in the 7 o'clock hour, and we're going to rerun it because so many people have not heard.
Yes.
Shreveport Mayor Ollie Tyler. And the first question was, give us the background, give us the details on your Cross Bayou $100 million plus arena proposal.
Let me tell you, the Cross Bayou corridor is not just an Ollie Tyler thing because it's a Shreveport thing.
You bet.
It is in the 2016 Great Expectations Master Plan. And, I've gone into that plan and pulled out projects that this whole community thought we needed to do in order to show a progressive city. So I want to clear that up, okay?
Yeah, we voted on that in 95, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s. And so we have done a lot of things just to make sure that we're moving ahead. They told me when I started running for mayor that we had this outstanding citizens group, about 1,000 people across this city that came together to develop that Great Expectations Master Plan. But the plan seemed to have been sitting on the shelf, in my opinion, and some of those things were being implemented, but we're trying to execute on those things.
This is a pretty big dream.
It is.
Let me ask you about corporate realty. Can you tell me what we know about corporate realty, how they came to the table, and they've got a big wallet apparently.
They invest in places where, and what we've discovered about them is that they have invested in places where they know the market is great, and they're in business too, but they have a proven track record. Attorney Bradford?
So when the city of Shreveport was offered the opportunity to respond to the RFP, the mayor tasked us with finding the best people to help us accomplish a response. Corporate realty, I was put in touch with them through one of my law school contacts. Again, in my business, we make a lot of relationships. We make sure we touch a lot of people. And so he had the inroads to get me in contact with them. I met with their principal, talked to their principal, CEO, Robert Simon, did some due diligence on their company. I've seen their portfolio, seen their Rolodex of business and the buildings that they created and the developments that they've created down in the southeastern region, and felt a comfort level to introduce them to the mayor and to move that relationship forward. But I made sure to instill with them that, at this point, because of how expedited this process and response time was with the New Orleans Pelicans, that they would have to take this on as an investment themselves if they wanted to participate moving forward. And so Mr. Simon went back to his shop and did his due diligence, looked at our market, and decided that Shreveport would be a good investment for him. And they have taken the reins and helped to steer this ship towards a good, successful response. I think it was very impressive. The New Orleans Pelicans even commented that our response was one of the only response that received not one but two standing ovations while we presented to them. And so they have the experience level. They've shown what they can do, especially in the Birmingham area. The Birmingham Barons have seen a resurgence there. They've actually brought back, along with the city of Birmingham, a team that has revitalized their downtown and shown great growth down there. And so, when you speak with those individuals, with Mr. Simon and his group, you'll see that they employ the best, they work with the best, they know the best. And so that's the kind of team we want to bring to the table for development that is this important.
Let's start with a couple of money questions. Question number one, the city's on the hook. We're going to borrow about $30 million. Walk us through that process.
What we're asking the citizens to see is that we're asking for money that has already been dedicated for this purpose. The B4 Riverfront Fund is money dedicated for the purpose of development of economic development along Cross Bayou and the Red River. And so this money is essentially a stopgap for us to construct the facility. The facility is designed to be self-sustaining for its operational costs, okay? And so utilizing monies that are already available, that are designated for that purpose, continue to promote the ideals of the city of Shreveport. And so it's a multi-step process. The process that occurred yesterday was the first introduction of a resolution and ordinance to allow for the hiring of professionals needed to issue bonds if the city chooses to elect to move forward with the project.
And let me just piggyback on that, Erin and Robert, and say, and I've spent a lot of time with the experts at the table that we brought to the table, and anybody can go and research and see what kind of company it is. And that's what people do. Instead of speculating, we're trying to present facts and try to educate people. When we check Corporate Realty out, these people are solid. They have the wherewithal to be able to do development and bring a lot of credibility to the table.
I checked them out too, and I wasn't able to find anything negative. I'm just saying.
Miss Ollie,
absolutely. So we do due diligence, Erin. We try. I mean, we all make mistakes in our lives, and we try to learn from those mistakes. And one of the things that I've learned down through the years as a CEO in education is that when you start dealing with people, and when you start dealing with those folk who trust you to do the right thing for the people you serve, you do due diligence on checking out those people that you bring to the table. So we've done that with Corporate Realty. But let me tell you, with this NBA backing and with the Benson family backing, let me tell you, we have, I think, a win-win. But Shreveport has to believe in Shreveport. Our citizens for so long sit back and say, we can't do this, we can't do that. We have got to believe in ourselves. And let me tell you, this project is so significant for revitalizing this community. Not only will we be investing just to bring in an NBA league, but we're going to be investing in revitalizing throughout this community. We're talking job creation. We're talking opportunities for entrepreneurs. We're talking helping those small businesses that need that lift right now. But I can tell you, the NBA is going to bring to the table a lot of credibility along with the Benson family. So, I mean, we've seen it. We've looked at other leagues in the nation that have taken on this particular kind of, project, and they're being successful. Shreveport can be successful.
Let us ask some questions, Mayor.
Miss Ollie, pardon me, the second money question. The $100 million or more that the incoming builders are going to put up, that they're going to put into the project, at any point could Shreveport be on the hook for any of that money if certain goals, expectations aren't crossed or met?
The project is designed to be only an obligation of the city for the purposes of the sports complex. The outside development, the other development, the $100 million plus development is private dollars. Again, some of you may be familiar with the term public-private partnership. This is precisely what it is. It's an investment by a group who sees a potential opportunity in the city of Shreveport to develop property, and also an investment from the city to develop and anchor a destination. Let's think about what this creates. This actually creates a destination for our area. It's no longer just a place that you can come visit and that you may have one or two events to go to. You can actually spend an entire weekend in this proposed development. That's what it's designed for. It's designed to be a place where you can live, work, play, and stay. You're talking about additional heads and beds. You're bringing people to the area for the purposes of attending events that are much larger than what we currently see at this point. And so, you're going to have the need for, this is something that I really like about Corporate Realty and their approach to how they do business. One of the things that they want to encourage in the development is also the local businesses. They want to encourage local opportunity and education of local contractors and local developers and local operators of small businesses and medium-sized businesses. And
let me ask the mayor this, Mr. Bradford. The actual land, who will then own the land? Is the city essentially selling this land to Corporate Realty?
No.
We own the land.
And we'll own it under this deal.
We've already worked through that situation, and we've got some more things to do, but we own the land. I mean, the development, they'll bring private people to come to the table to do the development, but we'll own the land. And we'll own the sports complex.
And how will we pay back the $30 million revenue bond? Where's that money coming from? Everybody keeps telling you, you hear this everywhere you go, we're broke, we're broke. Where are we going to get the money to pay that back?
That money is generated by ordinance from the riverboats and from downtown additional money. So that money is put into a special revenue account for the purposes of economic development. That is what that account is intended to be used for.
But you and I both know, Mayor, riverboat gambling revenues are down. Ronnie Jones is going to join us in the 8 o'clock hour to talk about how gambling revenues are steady going down. That has to be a concern to you guys.
It is. But let me tell you, Erin, when we bring in this NBA league, that's why they're the anchor tenant. We're going to be generating a lot of money just because they're going to be here bringing in people from across the architects to spend monies in our community. Also, we're going to use that sports complex for all kind of competitions that we are not able to have right now.
And also to piggyback on what the mayor is saying, there's additional revenue streams that are available in a development like this. Again, one of the things we talked about is how that portion of that corridor is not generating any sales tax revenue. It's not generating any revenue for the city. There are special financing districts that the state law provides for that allows us to create that district and create a baseline and to receive monies because of the increased amount of taxes that are generated in that area. So that can be purposed for additional debt service and for improvements against all of the buildings and developments that come up in the Cross-Bayou Corridor.
And to add to that, we've got people who are interested in actually coming in, being major sponsors, because we got people because of the NBA brand and the Pelican and Benson brand. They want to come in actually and invest with naming rights and so forth and so on. We're going to have different revenue streams coming in. Erin.
Let me ask y'all this: if the Pelicans
have been catalyst for additional growth, so it's not a one-off development that you're putting in a corridor that stands alone. This is something that is programmed and created to be a spur, a catalyst for downtown growth, to improve your downtown. It makes buildings downtown more marketable. It makes areas around downtown more marketable. It makes areas across the city more marketable because you've created a destination, you're creating growth, you're showing progress. And so outside investors and outside developers begin to take note, as well as your folks at home. You start activating those folks who go home every day and may not have an opportunity or choose not to come out and to explore and use all the resources that the city has available. But when you create that sense of place, that sense of destination, you encourage additional spending throughout your city. And so that will help revenue as well.
If the Pelicans is a no-go, do we still move forward with this development? I mean, our voters want Cross Bayou developed. Do you move forward without the Pelicans in this equation?
I think that Corporate Realty has expressed that they are interested in development throughout downtown Shreveport. Now, it may change the conversation of how that development occurs. I think the Pelicans create an amazing anchor. They create that sense of destination that we're talking about, and so it makes for a very marketable area to go back there. So we absolutely want them here. We want them here as a resource because, again, when you bring an organization like that to your area, you're also bringing along the resources that they provide, and so the access to capital that they have and the access to personnel and people that they have. And so you want to encourage them to come to this area to bring their brand and to bring the market space that they bring, because that provides additional lift to the area. It provides an avenue that this city has not seen. And so, We want to focus down on actually bringing them here and encouraging a destination like this to be created.
With the Shreveport Convention Center downtown, the Hilton Hotel still being relatively new, isn't there some concern that besides the dates that you'll have for the Pelicans minor league team at the new arena, that for other events that you're sort of competing against yourself?
Well, that was one of the considerations we took into place when we did our due diligence on this. We talked to SMG, who's the management company for the convention center, and so we talked to them about, and the municipal auditorium, hey, we don't want to create something that competes with ourselves. And they said specifically, no, this fills a need that we have in the city of Shreveport. Right now, there is not a mid-sized sports complex in our area. People are driving all the way from Natchitoches and Baton Rouge to Dallas to go to AAU tournaments, to cheer tournaments, to volleyball tournaments. Right now, you fill a void that's in this area. So you start drawing from East Texas, South Arkansas, Mississippi, Longview, Tyler,
Lufkin, Texarkana, Holt, Hot Springs, Little Rock, Monroe, Ruston. We have people who want to come to something like what we're trying to develop. And that NBA league is going to really help us. Now, do we want corporate realty here, whether or not the Pelicans come? Yes. The conversation may change because the NBA league is not just some little minor something. This is a major deal, Robert and Erin. And because they are here and they're going to bring their resources to the table, it is more attractive and I've gotten several different companies that have actually contacted me. They want to be a part of this because they see the potential. They see that this is a place that they can come. Our transportation infrastructure is awesome. I mean, people want to come to this area. We have a lot of visitors, a lot of events, a lot of all kinds of festivals. It's going to even pick up more. That's going to generate a lot of dollars that we can use to help us complete the infrastructure needs that we have in our city. People talk about, we need to just not do this and just go and do infrastructure. Let me tell you, we don't have enough money to do all the infrastructure and address all the needs.
Mayor, can you address those? And I know you're hearing the naysayers, and they're all around you.
Oh, yeah.
The Red River District was a failure. You had the Fairgrounds fail. How do you address all of those people who say we've done these kind of things before, and they've all been failures?
Well, let me tell you what I say. I say that this is a one-time opportunity. It is unlike what people try to compare it to. But, and I'll say what I said last night in an interview. People who are successful had to have some failures before they got to be successful. So if people just stop doing anything, then to me, that is worse than failure. And I can tell you, I believe with this major brand coming to Shreveport with the NBA League, this is going to really spur that growth that we need. I mean, I think it's a win-win. I think we sell ourselves short.
Good morning, 629. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty. It's 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL traffic update. Here's Ruben.
I-20 eastbound's got it clear all the way to Monroe right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 eastbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Not as hot, but still humid today. Clouds and sun, high 87. Partly cloudy, low 71 tonight. Partly sunny, high 89 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Town Square Media Shreveport is an equal employment opportunity employer. We are
information. KEEL News now.
Governor John Bel Edwards will meet at GOSEP to get updates on Tropical Storm Harvey. State climatologist Barry Kime says Harvey should make landfall around central Texas coastline sometime tomorrow evening. He says once that happens, the system is expected to turn eastward and slow down. There's the potential that over 20 inches of rain, with Houston, Galveston being the ground zero.
But as I noted, southwestern Louisiana could also see some pretty extreme heavy rainfall, and there's possibilities for heavy rainfall really all across the state.
Police Association is calling out the city for spending money on basketball instead of officers.
I think it's time that we're all honest with each other. You get your priorities straight. You get public safety where it needs to be. You get your fire department and police department functioning at a progressive level. And then, when you have the money in the bank, you can spend it however you see fit.
Michael Carter with the Shreveport Police Officers Association says for 11 years they haven't been able to get pay raises or new equipment due to a lack of funding. Now, Shreveport CAO Brian Crawford responded to the statement, saying officers get a 2% raise every year and that the city has spent nearly $5 million on new police vehicles. Now, on that proposal, we did ask Mayor Tyler about who will have ownership of the land.
We own the land. I mean, the development, you know, they'll bring private people to come to the table to do the development, but we'll own the land.
The city council expected to take a final vote next month, but Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch tells KEEL News, quote, "This is a done deal." If you were planning to visit the new Shreveport Aquarium this month, well, you'll have to wait a little longer. Jake Wood says Planet Aqua Group is delaying the opening of the new aquarium until late September or early October. Could BRF be on the way out at University Health? Matt Parker with that.
Reportedly, Governor John Bel Edwards is making moves to oust BRF as the state's partner for safety net hospitals in Shreveport and Monroe. Recently, BRF refused to sign a new contract because they felt the terms were unfair. Edwards was supposed to meet with local lawmakers this morning to discuss getting rid of BRF and to take a look at alternative options. But those plans were changed due to Tropical Depression Harvey. However, both sides are still open to making a deal if terms can be reached. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
A man was killed in Manny after his truck was hit by a train. According to police, the accident happened on Highway 6. Witnesses say the man in the truck ignored the flashing lights to keep off the track. The impact caused him to be ejected from the truck, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. A local man convicted for attempted murder, Kenneth Harper, facing 50 years in prison for attempting to kill his girlfriend. Harper shot Alicia Woods with a shotgun, nearly blasting off her right arm. Harper due back in court for sentencing later this year. The FTC says it will not block Amazon's $13 billion takeover of Whole Foods. A union that represents food industry workers asked the FTC to scrutinize the deal. LSU quarterback Danny Etling excited about being named the starter when the Tigers take on BYU. The fifth-year senior says he's never entered a season without competing hard for the starting job.
It's something that I've always embraced, and it's something that hopefully I'll look for at the next level as well. It's something that I've done is always compete for jobs, and it's something that I understand how to do, and nothing will be handed to you, and it's something, that I'm proud of.
Tigers open the season September 2nd against BYU in Houston. And yes, there was one winning Powerball ticket. It was sold in the Boston, Massachusetts area. It's the largest grand prize won by a single lottery ticket in U.S. history, worth more than $758 million. Partly cloudy. We'll see a little sunshine today. The high temp near 87 degrees. Right now it is 75. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Arclatex Foot and Ankle Specialist is excited.
Shreveport City Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch is here. Good morning, Miss Stephanie. How are you today?
Good morning.
Sports Arena, $100 million.
My yes is yes, and my yes I know is. My yes is yes, and my no is yes, and my no. My yes is.
It is 638, 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and lottery winner Erin McCarty.
No, my Macarena would be really good if I'd won.
One winner in Massachusetts. Let me point this out to everybody. The degree of Erin's anger, of her depression,
I am very sad.
It is directly proportional.
Would you like to know what I did last night?
What did you do last night? Is this pre or post?
Pre.
What did you do?
Pre.
What?
I custom built a Porsche.
You went on the website.
I went at Porsche.com, whatever
Yeah.
their main site is.
Yeah.
I custom designed with custom colors,
Yeah.
custom headlights and wheels.
Right.
The biggest engine you can get.
Yeah.
Custom interior.
Wow, Susan Moffat's probably more disappointed than
I
you this
know
morning.
she is. I know she is. It was a beautiful car. It was baby blue. It was gorgeous.
One winner in Massachusetts.
$758 million.
What's the payout? Like $440, I believe.
It's going to be more than that because it was $440 at $700 million. So it's going to be well over $460. Probably.
As I started to say, your anger, your jealousy.
My car was gorgeous.
Is directly proportional to the distance we are from the winner.
Mhm.
For example, if
I'm
it had been
unhappy.
someone in Dallas, she'd really be angry.
Oh, it'd be livid.
Like Atlanta, not quite so angry.
Yeah.
The only reason she's at work today, the only reason she is capable of functioning as an adult,
Because the ticket's in a different time zone.
is because it's
Yeah.
in Massachusetts.
Yeah, that's it.
639, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic update. Here's Ruben.
I-20 eastbound's got it clear all the way to Monroe right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 eastbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Not as hot today. It'll still be humid, though. Clouds and sun with a high of 87. Patchy clouds, low 71 tonight. Partly sunny, high 89 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
$642, Robert and Erin, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Keel app's a free download from Office Furniture Source. The $100 million plus, first it was 25, then it was 30, then it was $100 million. Now it's about, what, $135 million? Is that the latest number?
Yeah, that's about right.
And we talked to Shreveport City Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch yesterday, and we're going to replay that for you, but toward the end you'll hear her say that as far as elected officials are concerned, it's a done deal.
Mm-hmm.
So what she's saying is that Ali has the votes, and that all this is just a charade?
Pretty much. That's what it looks
I
like.
heard from two reporters yesterday. One TV, one
print.
digital media.
Okay.
Who said it's a done deal. That not only, they told me that not only does she have the votes for sure in the city council, and I'm not sure that, look, Oliver Jenkins is kind of backtracking. We can read his letter or his social media statement to his constituents.
Did he put one up?
Yes.
Oh.
But what I heard from these two fellas is that she has the votes and that the Saints, the Pelicans, have already made the decision, and it's us.
If this was approved.
And yet you told me you've got a Pensacola, Florida newspaper.
Yes, they've got a big plan, too, for their area, for a
And
new arena and all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They've got to put together a similar package.
So, Stephanie Lynch, councilwoman who voted yes, who voted a couple of days ago to move ahead with a study of the plan. We had her yesterday, and the first question was, you voted yes. You said yes to Miss Ollie Phase 1. The Ollie Dome Phase 1. Was this a big, wholehearted, enthusiastic yes? Or was it kind of a, let's see what you got kind of yes?
My yes is yes and my no is no. So it was an affirmative vote.
Are you skeptical about anything in this proposal at this point, Stephanie?
Well, I'm waiting to get more feedback from the citizens because they are the ones who will have to fill those seats. And right now, what I'm hearing is, hell no, we won't go. They're not saying right now that they're willing to support this.
So do you think
effort.
that yesterday the mayor made a good first step in convincing you and over the next few weeks your constituents that this is a good idea?
Well, let me tell you that the mayor was flossing yesterday and flossing this morning on you all's program. And I have to commend her and her team. They put together an excellent presentation. In fact, I got one email from, it was not one of my constituents, but from someone that said, yesterday, the day before Monday, they were against it, but after seeing the presentation, they said they were for it. And so there's a possibility that some people's minds will be changed. But what I said to that person is, give it a week, let the aura of the presentation die down, because it's a very slick presentation, and the reality will begin to set in.
Is there, in a week or so, is there the possibility that Stephanie Lynch will be telling people this is a good idea?
I'm going to be listening. I'm not going to be telling anybody anything. I'm going to be listening first. I mean, I've had, this is my second time seeing the presentation, and I'm reserved right now.
The previous public-private partnerships that the city has been involved in, Red River District and a couple of others, have not gone so well. But because of the people involved in this deal, the company from Birmingham and the Benson family, the owner of the Pelicans and the Saints, do you feel a little better about another public-private partnership?
With the problems and the issues that we have in the city of Shreveport, I don't think the Benson brand or the NBA brand is going to move people to buy tickets to go to the game.
If I had to ask you on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being this is going to be a great success, 1, this is going to be a dismal failure.
If it goes through.
Where are you on that scale now, Stephanie?
I really can't say. I'm cautiously optimistic, but at the same time, I really am going to take my cue from the people that we have to depend on to sit in those seats and to make the financials work. I mean, it could be the greatest plan, but if the people don't support it, then we're back to square one.
Do you believe that we need to develop Cross Bayou with or without the Pelicans' involvement?
Absolutely. And I've said to the mayor, if her staff and team had put as much effort into the issues that we're having with crime, with infrastructure, with, not being trashy, and, several other things, if they would put the same time and commitment toward those things that they've put toward this one, maybe people would be ready and more accepting. But there's a big gulf there, and I think that's where a lot of the consternation is coming from and heartache is coming from about this proposal because people don't feel like the basics have been covered.
That sounds pretty critical of the mayor. You say you've told her that in person. How does she respond?
I've told her that in person and in the open council meeting. Some things are being glossed over. And I think that's some of the response that's coming, because what we're seeing on social media in response to the story yesterday, the initial story, is that people want the basic city services covered and covered efficiently and effectively before, we make such a giant leap.
The mayor and Mr. Bradford, William Bradford, I will make the case that by building this, by all these businesses being opened, et cetera, that the tax dollars, the revenue that will generate for the city will help to cover a lot of the problems you just mentioned, i.e. infrastructure, police departments, et cetera. What do you think?
That's a pipe dream.
Why do you say that?
Because, I've been in elected office for 14 years now. I've seen a lot of presentations, heard a lot of proposals. They said the same thing about the Red River District. They said the same thing about the Convention Center. Said the same thing about the Hilton Hotel. And those things are costing us hundreds of thousands of dollars because it's not working as it was proposed.
Ms. Stephanie, pardon me. Excuse me. It's
Fairgrounds Field.
It seems to me that despite you saying you had sort of an open mind, that you really are going to have to, Stephanie Lynch is going to really have to be sold on this idea.
Well, I'm just saying what I'm hearing from my constituents and the community at large. I'm voicing those concerns.
Is there anything you could hear from the mayor, Mr. Bradford, or those involved in the next, the vote September 12th, that would get not only your vote, but your enthusiastic vote?
Well, I'm taking my cue from the people, and I'm telling you that there are 4 votes on the council right now to pass this deal. This is a done deal in terms of the elected officials.
You think your opinion won't matter?
No. The only opinion that will matter is that of the citizens. They can recall this effort, possibly, but it's not going to come from them, contacting us, the city council, because the votes are already there.
Do you think any of the city council, any of your other city council men, so do you think their votes are shaky, or are those all solid?
No, there are 4 votes to support this.
No matter
as
what.
Of today. No matter
Corbin,
what. I think
Corbin, Jenkins, Everson, and who's the 4th?
There are 4 votes, possibly 5. And so if people are really saying that we're not going to support it, we're not going to buy tickets, we're not going to be in the seats, they need to let the NBA Pelican organization know that.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update. Here's Ruben.
It is the best time of day to get where you're going because everything is all clear for your early morning drive to work or school. But look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-49 northbound near Kings Highway. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Not as hot, but still humid today. Clouds and sun, high 87. Partly cloudy, low 71 tonight. Partly sunny, high 89 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Are you an aspiring
Good morning, 7 away from 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Coach Ed Orgeron had his first call-in show last night. Actually, it's kind of more of a tweet-in show now. And I guess the biggest news that came out of it is that Dante Jackson, one of the fastest guys in all of college football, will return punts for LSU this year. He rotated with Darius Geis last year as a kick returner, but he's going to be handling punts this time around. In baseball last night, the Rangers climbed back to 500 with a 7-5 win over the Angels in 10 innings. The Rangers scored 3 runs in the top of the 10th to pick up the win. Adrian Beltre belted a pair of solo home runs, one in the second, one in the fourth. Robinson Chirinos sandwiched one in the third inning. The Rangers have not been over 500 since June 27th. They'll try to reach that one game over 500 mark against the Angels today. The Astros knocked off Washington 6-1. That snapped a 9-game losing streak against the Nationals. Jake Marisnick hit a solo home run in the 5th to give the Astros a 2-1 lead. Max Stassi hit a solo homer in the 8th to make it 3-1. And former LSU Tiger Alex Bregman put it out of reach with a 3-run blast in the 8th to make it 6-1. Mike Fiers picked up his first win since July 21st with a strong effort to improve to 8-8. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert and Erin. The Keel app's a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. Okay, 710 motivational speaker Dale Smith Thomas at 7:40. Tell us.
State Senator Greg Tarver is going to join us. There's a move to get BRF out at University Health.
And more on the $100 million arena. Kind of like that. The O-Dome, yes.
And Michael Carter, head of the Shreveport Police Association, is going to join us just after 8.
Right now, Rush on Keel.
You heard about the story of the high school journalists in Kansas? Oh, yeah, this was so big the Washington Post and all the others picked it up. These journalists in Kansas investigated the background of their new principal. Her name was Amy Roberts, and they found out that she did not go to a university. She got a degree from an online diploma mill, not a university. And after their story questioning her background was published, the principal resigned. And almost immediately, these young journalists found themselves in the news. Their story was all over social media. It was reported on by respected members of the drive-bys. The kids were shocked that they got so much attention from big-time news outlets. But it is not a surprise why these high school journalists were held up for such praise, because their elders in the business were as proud as a mother lion watching her cubs perform their first successful hunt. Because these kids didn't just wound an authority figure, they took her out. Now, I have some advice for you high school cub reporters. You're not real drive-by journalists yet. Your first scalp was somebody who did do something wrong. You found out and reported it. That's no big deal. What you have to do is find somebody totally innocent, preferably a CEO or a mayor or some big figure, and ruin them. You ruin somebody's interest, and that's your ticket to the Washington Post and the New York Times and CNN. Don't doubt me.
Are you taking Viagra for ED? Now you can get Sildenafil, the active ingredient in Viagra, in generic 20 milligrams for $2 per tablet. That's a savings of $40 per dose. Marley Drug is a North Carolina pharmacy delivering generic Sildenafil to your door. For information on Sildenafil, go to marleygenerics.com or call us at 800-601-0680. That's 800-601-0680.
Finding great people to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's time to try ZipRecruiter, where 80% of jobs get a qualified candidate in just one day. How? Using powerful technology, ZipRecruiter matches your job to the right candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Starting to see some slow-moving traffic on Stoner Avenue and Centenary Boulevard. And those school zone lights are on and the school buses are out. Please use caution when driving around the school zones. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
6:59, here's your KEEL AccuWeather.com forecast. Kind of cloudy, small chance of rain, upper 80s. Right now, 73 at KEEL.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
It is 7:03, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin. Miss Erin has local news. She's getting ready right now.
Police officers are hopping mad at the mayor. We'll talk about that. Also, BRF could be some trouble. And if you want to go swim with the fishes, you'll have to wait.
Don't forget the cannoli. Motivational speaker Dale Smith Thomas is in town today for the Women Who Care Luncheon with the YWCA, and she will join us in just about 10 minutes. And State Senator Greg Tarver talking about the situation at University LSU. Hell, I don't even know what the name is. but it's Biomedical Research Foundation.
Biomedical reefer.
Well, its time has come.
I'll volunteer for them.
Mr. Greg joins us just after the bottom of the hour, plus Fletcher's sports, traffic, and weather all this hour on KEEL.
The KEEL Morning Report, now on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
The Police Association calling out the city for spending money on basketball instead of officers.
We're not opposed to sports, but you're going to tell the Shreveport Police Officers Association for 14 and a half years that you can't afford a $1.9 million pay structure, but at the same time, you're going to turn around and tell the voters, don't worry, we're going to borrow $30 million at 6%. For us, we find that not only irresponsible, it's a lack of respect for what we do, because we're struggling. We're struggling each and every day.
Michael Carter with the Shreveport Police Officers Association has released a statement blasting the city for ignoring their needs, yet proposing the sports complex. Now, the city's CAO, Brian Crawford, responded to the statement by saying officers get a 2% raise every year and that the city has spent nearly $5 million on new police vehicles. But Mayor Ollie Tyler says this is a project that will have a major impact on our community.
We've got people who are interested in actually coming in, being major sponsors, because we got people because of the NBA brand and the Pelican and Benson brand. They want to come in actually and invest with naming rights and so forth and so on. We're going to have different revenue streams coming in.
The city council could take a final vote on the proposal September 12th. Could BRF be out at University Health? Reportedly, Governor John Bel Edwards is making moves to oust BRF as the state's partner for safety net hospitals in Shreveport and Monroe. Recently, BRF refused to sign a new contract because they felt the terms were unfair. The governor was supposed to meet with local lawmakers today to talk about getting rid of BRF and to look at alternative options, but those plans were changed due to Tropical Depression Harvey, which is now a tropical storm. However, both sides are still open to making a deal if terms can be reached. The aquarium opening has been delayed. Matt Parker takes a look.
If you were planning to visit the new Shreveport Aquarium this month, you're going to have to wait a little longer. Jake Woods, aquarium spokesman, says that the Planet Aqua Group is delaying the opening of the new aquarium until late September or early October. Woods says some of the plans for the aquarium have changed, and the group has decided to add additional attractions and a new dome. For 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Governor John Bel Edwards meets with GOSEP to provide updates on Tropical Storm Harvey. State climatologist Barry Kime says 5 to 10 inches of rain over any given area of the state can't be ruled out over the next week. He says once the storm stalls, it could sit there for a couple of days.
And the longer that thing sits there, the more rain it's going to produce over that region. So the slow speed of it is going to be a serious problem for this entire region.
This system will likely be more of a rainmaker for most of Louisiana, but areas across the coast are looking at more complicated circumstances. He says it's not the time to be fishing in the Gulf. LSU quarterback Danny Etling excited about being named the starter when the Tigers hit the field against BYU in Houston on September 2nd. Etling remained the presumed starter throughout the spring despite a back injury. He says the only thing on his mind during camp was that he's got to get better.
I always just think, how can I just be the best quarterback for this team? So if I'm the best quarterback for the team and I've worked hard enough to do that and improved enough to do that, then things will fall in place. But that's what you got to have faith in, and that's all you can focus on.
LSU, by the way, ranked number 13 in the AP poll. The Powerball winning ticket last night's drawing was purchased in the Boston, Massachusetts area. It's worth more than $758 million, the largest single winning ticket in U.S. Powerball jackpot history. Partly cloudy today. We could see a shower popping up late in the day with a high temp near 87 degrees. Right now, 76. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Nine past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. The latest traffic for Thursday morning. Here's Rapid Ruben.
The intersection at Hearn Avenue and Greenwood Road's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Old Minden Road near Benton Spur in Bossier City. If you know something we don't, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Not as hot today. It'll still be humid, though. Clouds and sun with a high of 87. Patchy clouds, low 71 tonight. Partly sunny, high 89 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Good morning. It's 13 past 7 o'clock. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Would I be correct in assuming that as flawless as that last newscast was, you were, as you like to say, making it up?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
So about
Computer
30
crash.
to 45 seconds into that newscast, your computer crashed.
It did.
So you couldn't scroll through your script that was written at about 5 o'clock this morning.
Right, so I kind of made all that up.
Basically, what you were doing was rewriting or repeating in your head, in your memory, all of the news stories you had written about 2.5 hours ago around the sound bites that instead of running off your side of the computer, Matt had to run off his.
Pretty much. I was kind of had most of the stuff in my memory,
But if
kind
you
of
go,
in my
how
brain.
do you do that?
I don't know. I just know. I know the 6 or 8 stories that I have that are big for the day.
Right.
And I kind of have the gist of them in my brain.
But how do you go back and repeat literally flawlessly? If you go back and listen to that newscast, it's flawless. And you've done that. I've watched you do that. The computer crashes because it's computers.
Right.
About once every 75 or 90 days, they just do.
Yeah.
And as we all know, when computers crash, it's at the most inopportune time.
Right.
So what happens is it crashes, and your script is gone, and you've done it. I guess you started using. When did you go to digital completely away from hard copy? The latter days of 94.5?
Yeah, probably. Probably we had a computer.
So I've sat here in my chair for 15 or 16, at least of the 21 years we've worked together. And once every couple of months when your computer crashes, I watch you repeat totally from memory a script that's almost 2 hours old. That's 4 minutes long with sound bites. And I just want people to know how, I don't know how you do it. I'm sitting here, oh, she's doing it again. So for those of you who are watching on video, on the stream, and it looked like she was reading, she in fact was not.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I have a special message, and we can talk about this, and Dale Smith-Thomas, motivational speaker, she's in town today. Look, we'll slide her down to the 20 break.
Yeah.
Down to the 20
Right.
segment. I want to send, and I think you both agree with me on this, and this is going to sound awful. Well, maybe it won't, but I think it is. And I just want to tell the folks at Planet Aqua something.
Okay. Shout out Planet Aqua.
No.
Not a shout out?
Well, look, for all I know, and they seem to be from Jake Wood and they
good folks.
Yeah, and they're going to open that restaurant called Salt, and the whole thing looks like it's going to be an awesome idea.
And they're going to let me come down there and shoot a video racing the shark?
But let me tell you guys something. First of all, they were scheduled to open in about a week. So what's the latest news on that?
It's going to open September, October now. So we pushed it back
really
a month
no
or
more.
two.
The date, there is no firm date for the opening.
No firm date now.
Okay. Here's the message to Planet Aqua. You guys, I understand this is probably for the best, and I understand that things happen, and I understand that, more than anything else, you're not from here. So you may not get what I'm about to tell you. But trust me, everybody in Shreveport and Bossier and within 100 miles who ever planned to come to that aquarium is thinking this right now. Aw, crap. Here we go again.
Yeah, exactly.
I promise you. Look, I'm sure that your reasons are 1,000% legitimate. But you guys got to understand, everybody is thinking that it's never going to happen now. It's just trust me on this. It's the way people around here, specifically people in Shreveport, think, because so many things have come off the rails or gone wrong or been delayed, from Elio to, I mean, you can name a million things going back to the Shreveport, was it the Pirates in the Canadian Football League? I mean, there's a billion things. And as legitimate and real as this all may be, right now, people around here are throwing up their hands and they're going, "Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
Here we go again.
Here we go again."
Mhm.
Trust me, do everything you can to get this baby up and going as fast as you can, because their hearts are sinking.
Yes.
Oh, crap. Am I right or am
Another
I right?
Elio, yeah.
19 past 7 o'clock, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic update coming up right now. Here's Ruben.
I-220 eastbound near North Market starting to see some slow-moving traffic. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive just north of Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Not as hot, but still humid today. Clouds and sun, high 87. Partly cloudy, low 71 tonight. Partly sunny, high 89 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
.117 FM, 710 Keel. It's time for sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Coach Ed Orgeron had his first call-in show last night. Actually, it's kind of more of a tweet-in show now. And I guess the biggest news that came out of it is that Dante Jackson, one of the fastest guys in all of college football, will return punts for LSU this year. He rotated with Darius Geis last year as a kick returner, but he's going to be handling punts this time around. In baseball last night, the Rangers climbed back to 500 with a 7-5 win over the Angels in 10 innings. The Rangers scored 3 runs in the top of the 10th to pick up the win. Adrian Beltre belted a pair of solo home runs, one in the second, one in the fourth. Robinson Chirinos sandwiched one in the third inning. The Rangers have not been over 500 since June 27th. They'll try to reach that one game over 500 mark against the Angels today. The Astros knocked off Washington 6-1. That snapped a 9-game losing streak against the Nationals. Jake Marisnick hit a solo home run in the 5th to give the Astros a 2-1 lead. Max Stassi hit a solo homer in the 8th to make it 3-1. And former LSU Tiger Alex Bregman put it out of reach with a 3-run blast in the 8th to make it 6-1. Mike Fiers picked up his first win since July 21st with a strong effort to improve to 8-8. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
It is 723, 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin.
Man, I wish we could have her on weekly.
Her name is Dale Smith Thomas. She is a nationally known motivational speaker and media personality, and she's in town today for the 3rd annual Women Who Care Share Luncheon put on by the YWCA. Hey, Miss Dale, how are you this morning?
Oh, I am fantastic. I understand y'all may be having some character building experiences this morning.
We're working on it. We're kicking things around here.
When we talked to you last time, I think it was like about August 10th or so, and promoted your coming to town today for the luncheon. The last thing we talked about that day was you told Erin to look in the mirror every morning and say, remember what it was?
Good morning, gorgeous.
Good morning, gorgeous.
And I don't think she really grasped that.
I don't.
And I tried to explain to her, and you can jump in and take it from here, but I tried to explain to her, when you look at yourself and you say you are something, through the day, as the day goes on, and you go to do something that is the opposite of what in your mind you are telling yourself that you are, you say to yourself, wait a second, gorgeous people don't do that. Healthy people don't do that. People who exercise, athletes, don't do that. I'm on the right track, I think.
Oh, you are? I mean, goodness, are you coming over here to give my presentation?
Absolutely not, but I'll be in the back standing and cheering.
You know, I read a quote one time that was so powerful. It says that we are what comes after these two words, I am. And think about that. I am strong. I am unique. I am special. You know, I think if we wake up to see the light of day, even though it's a little cloudy here in Shreveport this morning, we have the opportunity to live our best lives. But many times we don't do that because of the words that we tell ourselves. We beat ourselves up before we ever get started. And the world is negative enough. There's enough negativity out there. You don't have to go searching for negativity. It's there. But we do have to search for being positive. And you're right. If you say you're healthy and you're fit, you're not going to grab the bag of 50 Oreos and eat them if you really believe you're healthy and fit. And so you're exactly right. It's basically the programming that we're giving our minds. Just like your computers won't work if they're not programmed.
You know, I've been trolling your website for the last couple of days, and one thing really stood out to me. And I'm gonna read this line, and then you tell me how we can put it in our lives. Really put it in our lives. Change your results by investing 30 minutes a day.
Oh, yeah.
Where am I going to find? You know, we're all going to say, how am I going to get another 30 minutes out of my day?
You're not going to. You're not going to. And let me tell you why you're not going to. You don't have it, so you're going to exchange it. You're going to exchange 30 minutes a day, because I guarantee you, everyone that's listening to us right now are either spending 30 minutes on Facebook or social media or watching the news or watching some mindless television. If you would simply take 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes at night, and even if you simply just use that time to jot down what you're grateful for, or, you know, find your discipline, find your alarm clock, and get up 15 minutes earlier, because your car will not run without fuel. Your body won't run if you don't feed it. Well, guess what? Your positive spirit and your soul that moves forward will not run like that if you don't feed it. There's an old Native American proverb about a grandfather teaching his grandson, and he said, grandson, inside you are two dogs, and they represent two spirits. One is doubt and hate and fear and all of the negative stuff, and the other one is love and positivity and victory. And the little boy said, grandfather, which dog is stronger? And the grandfather says, whichever dog you feed.
Wow.
So what are you feeding every day? Are you surrounding yourselves with negative conversation and gossip and things that are not fueling a more positive life? Choose 15 minutes. Listen to you guys. Grab some quotes. Find something. There's so many YouTube videos now that are inspiring. I have videos up on my YouTube channel. So fuel your soul, my friend.
Your message today at the Women Who Care Share Luncheon. You're going to have a good crowd. A lot of women. There's going to be men there too. Sam's Town Casino.
Yes.
What's your main message to this group today?
The main message is life is about choices. We're there today to empower each other. I told the ladies last night and gentlemen at the VIP reception that today our job is to plant a seed or basically throw a rock into a lake that will ripple out. My job today is give them tools of empowerment that they can then go out, turn around, and share with others. And collectively, we make a difference in this community, which there in turn makes a difference in the state, which makes a difference in our world.
Dale Smith Thomas, look forward to hearing you this afternoon and meeting you as well.
Okay, I can't wait. Come hug my neck, gorgeous.
You bet. Hello, gorgeous.
Hello, gorgeous.
See you soon.
All right, bye, guys.
29 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Traffic update coming up right now. Rubens Rapid.
Keeping an eye on some slow-moving traffic on Line Avenue just south of East 70th Street. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Not as hot today. It'll still be humid, though. Clouds and sun with a high of 87. Patchy clouds, low 71 tonight. Partly sunny, high 89 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Governor John Bel Edwards will meet at GOSEP to get updates on Tropical Storm Harvey. State climatologist Barry Kime says Harvey should make landfall around central Texas coastline sometime tomorrow evening. He says once that happens, the system is expected to turn eastward and slow down. There's the potential that over 20 inches of rain, with Houston, Galveston being the ground zero.
But as I noted, southwestern Louisiana could also see some pretty extreme heavy rainfall, and there's possibilities for heavy rainfall really all across the state.
Police Association is calling out the city for spending money on basketball instead of officers.
I think it's time that we're all honest with each other. You get your priorities straight. You get public safety where it needs to be. You get your fire department and police department functioning at a progressive level. And then, when you have the money in the bank, you can spend it however you see fit.
Michael Carter with the Shreveport Police Officers Association says for 11 years they haven't been able to get pay raises or new equipment due to a lack of funding. Now, Shreveport CAO Brian Crawford responded to the statement, saying officers get a 2% raise every year and that the city has spent nearly $5 million on new police vehicles. Now, on that proposal, we did ask Mayor Tyler about who will have ownership of the land.
We own the land. I mean, the development, you know, they'll bring private people to come to the table to do the development, but we'll own the land.
The city council expected to take a final vote next month, but Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch tells KEEL News, quote, "This is a done deal." If you were planning to visit the new Shreveport Aquarium this month, well, you'll have to wait a little longer. Jake Wood says Planet Aqua Group is delaying the opening of the new aquarium until late September or early October. Could BRF be on the way out at University Health? Matt Parker with that.
Reportedly, Governor John Bell Edwards is making moves to oust BRF as the state's partner for safety net hospitals in Shreveport and Monroe. Recently, BRF refused to sign a new contract because they felt the terms were unfair. Edwards was supposed to meet with local lawmakers this morning to discuss getting rid of BRF and to take a look at alternative options, but those plans were changed due to Tropical Depression Harvey. However, both sides are still open to making a deal if terms can be reached. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
A man was killed in Manny after his truck was hit by a train. According to police, the accident happened on Highway 6. Witnesses say the man in the truck ignored the flashing lights to keep off the track. The impact caused him to be ejected from the truck, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. A local man convicted for attempted murder, Kenneth Harper, facing 50 years in prison for attempting to kill his girlfriend. Harper shot Alicia Woods with a shotgun, nearly blasting off her right arm. Harper due back in court for sentencing later this year. The FTC says it will not block Amazon's $13 billion takeover of Whole Foods. A union that represents food industry workers asked the FTC to scrutinize the deal. LSU quarterback Danny Etling excited about being named the starter when the Tigers take on BYU. The fifth-year senior says he's never entered a season without competing hard for the starting job.
It's something that I've always embraced, and it's something that hopefully I'll look for at the next level as well. It's something that I've done is always compete for jobs, and it's something that I understand how to do, and nothing will be handed to you, and it's something, that I'm proud of.
Tigers open the season September 2nd against BYU in Houston. And yes, there was one winning Powerball ticket. It was sold in the Boston, Massachusetts area. It's the largest grand prize won by a single lottery ticket in U.S. history, worth more than $758 million. Partly cloudy. We'll see a little sunshine today. The high temp near 87 degrees. Right now it is 75. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Uh, 736, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. I have to apologize.
For what?
And believe me, it's a heartfelt apology, and I feel kind of bad about this.
Oh, you do. You really do.
Yesterday, when we were talking about, and if you who hasn't seen the video? I mean, there's like 8 million views of this video.
18 bottles of wine in my pants, 18 bottles of wine. You take one out, drink it down, 17 bottles of wine in my pants.
The lady at the liquor store there on Burt Coons who put the 18 bottles of liquor into her, in no particular order, purse, yoga pants,
bra,
and top. And when I say the yoga pants were ill-fitting, I don't mean they were too big.
Yeah.
So the point is this. I had said, in reference to the clerk at the store, I had said, how on earth could a lady with 17 or 18 bottles of fill-in-the-blank, and these are not, as Erin said.
These aren't the airplane bottles.
These are not airline-size bottles.
And not little pints either.
No, ma'am. No. So what I said was, how on earth could anybody not see that? How could anybody not notice what she had done? And then I went back and really looked at the video.
Yep.
And I don't know how she did it.
She's magic.
But as Matt said, this woman is like the David Copperfield of Courvoisier.
We could get her a job in Vegas.
I mean, she, and I don't mean to be overly descriptive here.
She's magical.
But at one point, she stuffs a bottle into those
britches,
pants, and I'm telling you, it
vanished.
It disappeared.
Poof.
Ta-da!
Poof.
I'm not sure poof is the noise. But it's something similar.
Yep.
So the point being, I would like to take a moment and legitimately and a heartfelt apology to the clerk at that store. If they look, the guy on the radio was talking about you. He said you weren't doing your no. I apologize.
You couldn't spot it either.
There was no outline of anything. I don't know where it went. Maybe another dimension.
Yep.
But the point being, I was wrong. I apologize to the clerk.
She invented a new alcohol. It's called Crack Daniels. Sorry. Senator Greg Tarver is joining us next. We're going to talk about BRF and University Health.
Biomedical Research Foundation, are they on the way out?
Sorry, that was a horrible joke. I'm so bad.
I was trying not to top it. It's 739, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some backed up traffic on I-20 eastbound near North Spring Street, and we have some traffic delays on Old Minden Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you know something we don't, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Not as hot, but still humid today. Clouds and sun, high 87. Partly cloudy, low 71 tonight. Partly sunny, high 89 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Good morning, 742. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. It's 1017 FM and 710 KEEL, the KEEL app, a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. And joining us for a little bit, one of our favorite guests, Mr. Senator Greg Tarver. Hey, Mr. Greg, how are you today?
Fine. How are you doing today?
I'm getting younger every day, similar to yourself. How was that? I got an email the other evening from an anonymous, I don't know who it was, somebody in the medical industry, and it was like the minutes of a report from a meeting in Baton Rouge, and it was about LSU Health and Biomedical Research Foundation, and it was all this stuff, and it was the minutes or something from a meeting, and I started to read it, and first of all, it was so complicated, it made my head explode. But the first heading, the first topic for discussion was, are hospitals, specifically the public hospitals, i.e. LSU Health, etc., in Northwest Louisiana, being discriminated against? Can you help me out? What did that mean, and is that true in your opinion?
Well, let me say this to you. You having all type of things, all manner of things that is said from BRF that is not factual. And I can give you some examples. Number one, they are getting paid by the quarter, and others are getting paid by the quarter. And one of the reasons why Shreveport is different because they did not pay their bills. Let me give you a further example of that. Right today, they owe LSU Med School $8.1 million. They owe the state $3.8 million right now for lease payments. For lease payments for Shreveport and for lease payments for Monroe, Conway. They're not paying their bills. They also owe pharmaceuticals money by $4 or $5 million. They're just not paying their bills. And somehow, I don't understand how they can operate without paying LSU Med School for performing services that they do right now. No, they're not being discriminated against. Of course, it's different between Shreveport and New Orleans. Yes, it's a big difference, just like apple and oranges. All of them are fruit, but they are different.
Senator, the governor is looking like he wants to move BRF out as the partner to run University Health here and Conway and Monroe. I want to ask you how much you can share with us. I know you're in on this. How much can you share with us about who could step in and run the hospital?
Well, let me say this to you. The governor has finally reached the decision that we've been telling him all the time, that BRF is not taking care of the business that they're supposed to be taking care of. They're not giving the service that they're supposed to be getting to the poor and to the needy. Right now, like I said before, they owe LSU Med School. How do you expect LSU Med School to survive if you don't pay them? What will wind up happening, and I said this before, and I'm going to say it again, if BRF continue in Shreveport, they're going to destroy and close LSU Med School because they're not paying them.
What would you like to see happen here? If you had your magic wand and said, here's how I want the hospital to be run, what happens?
I would like to see LSU Med School take over the hospital again. They have a 501(c), a nonprofit right now, that they can go into and run the hospital. If they run that hospital, we will be independent, not only from the state of Louisiana. We won't need their money. We won't need the money that they have been giving us in the past, extra money. We will not be dealing with BRF. We will keep our doctors. Doctors are leaving Shreveport. They're leaving Shreveport because of all the confusion between LSU and BRF. And BRF is telling lies to the public and distorting the figures. For example, they say that they pay $41 million lease payment, and New Orleans pay $49. That's not true. We pay $41, and New Orleans pay $94 million a year for lease payment. They're saying all manner of things which are not factual to the public.
Mr. Gregg,
and I think LSU Med School can take over the hospital today because they have the people to run that hospital.
Is all this, and I was going to start the question with, there are politicians across the state on both sides of the aisle who now look back on Governor Jindal's privatization plan and say, yeesh, what a freaking disaster. Is this mess that's come of that for you sort of a big I told you so?
Well, yes. We realized at first it was not going to work, but we did not have a choice because the governor said it's going to happen. And it happened because at the time, if you remember correctly, that we were cut by $800 million in Medicaid money. That is what happened, and he had to do something. But we did not have to go to this extent. It's costing us more money to deal with this privatization. People are not getting the service in North Louisiana. They are doing very well. And let me say this to you. Of all the private-public partnerships, the only one you hear having problems is cattle. Why? Because they're not taking care of their business. They're not paying their bills on time. They're not paying the hospital, the LSU Med School, I mean.
In your opinion, was the privatization plan itself a bad idea, or was it just the way it was implemented?
Well, I think where it was implemented, number one, Shreveport never should have been broken up. Shreveport was unique. We were the only one in Louisiana that had a hospital and a medical school together. That did not happen nowhere else in Louisiana. They put a very, very poor program together up here. And that's what happened. Now, the other ones are working very well. Only one is not working is cattle. Why? It got to be the administrators of BRF. If they know what they was doing, we wouldn't have this problem.
Is the meeting with the governor been rescheduled, and what timetable are we looking at? We got about 35 seconds left.
This coming Thursday, next week, it's going to be being put together in Monroe.
Senator Greg Tarver, thank you so much for your time. I'm sure we'll chat with you next week.
No, I will be in California. My son is getting married.
Oh, wow. Well, maybe when you get back.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. All righty. Bye-bye.
749, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Time for traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye on some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up to Airline Drive right now. And we have some traffic delays on Linwood Avenue and West 70th Street. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Not as hot, but still humid today. Clouds and sun, high 87. Partly cloudy, low 71 tonight. Partly sunny, high 89 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
$7:52, time for sports on KEEL. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Coach Ed Orgeron had his first call-in show last night. Actually, it's kind of more of a tweet-in show now. And I guess the biggest news that came out of it is that Dante Jackson, one of the fastest guys in all of college football, will return punts for LSU this year. He rotated with Darius Geis last year as a kick returner, but he's going to be handling punts this time around. In baseball last night, the Rangers climbed back to 500 with a 7-5 win over the Angels in 10 innings. The Rangers scored 3 runs in the top of the 10th to pick up the win. Adrian Beltre belted a pair of solo home runs, one in the second, one in the fourth. Robinson Chirinos sandwiched one in the third inning. The Rangers have not been over 500 since June 27th. They'll try to reach that one game over 500 mark against the Angels today. The Astros knocked off Washington 6-1. That snapped a 9-game losing streak against the Nationals. Jake Marisnick hit a solo home run in the 5th to give the Astros a 2-1 lead. Max Stassi hit a solo homer in the 8th to make it 3-1. And former LSU Tiger Alex Bregman put it out of reach with a 3-run blast in the 8th to make it 6-1. Mike Fiers picked up his first win since July 21st with a strong effort to improve to 8-8. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
755, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and the angry, embittered, disillusioned Erin McCarty.
I had the $30 million for the city. I wanted it to be called the EMAC.
It was an interesting idea, the Erin McCarty Activities and or Assembly Center.
Yep, then no city money would be involved.
The Erin Dome.
Yeah.
Here's the deal, and I mentioned this last hour, that Erin's, understand, if the Powerball winner, and there was one winner of the $700+ million
duty head
in Massachusetts,
Yeah.
one winner. Erin's anger,
I'm ticked,
it is directly proportional to the distance from which the winner comes.
Yes.
I.e., if it had been somebody in Dallas,
oh man, I'd be fuming.
She'd have been really Atlanta, a little less so.
If it had been Shreveport, I wouldn't have come to work.
Oh, I understand.
I couldn't have.
We had a $1 million winner last year because they got, what was it, 5 out of 6?
Yes,
and
yes.
you were. I
was unconsolable.
We had to get a fire extinguisher, hose you down.
Yeah. Boston's in a different time zone. It's way up there.
Was it in Boston? Was it in
like 6 miles outside of Boston?
Gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha,
So in a little bitty store, one of those rundown little stores. God bless them. They're going to get a big check too. But $758 million. Ticket.
A single winner, $750 million. What's the one-time payout on that?
It's going to be $450 plus.
Police union boss Michael Carter joins us just after 8 o'clock. Lots to say about the $140-something million proposed arena. We'll look at the letter. We'll get his comments. That'll be very interesting, to say the least. In the meantime, here's Hannity on KEEL.
Your morning cup of Sean. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
The scandal surrounding Deputy Wasserman Schultz and her IT aide keeps growing. Now, the Daily Caller was the first to report that Imran Awan, the House IT aide, who along with his family members, they collected over $4 million in salary from House Democrats between 2009 and 17. Awan was indicted last week for making false statements and conspiracy after he had been accused of stealing government equipment, sensitive information from Democratic congressmen and women. Now, the New York Post is reporting that investigators suspect that sensitive U.S. government data, possibly classified information, could have been compromised and may have been sold to hostile foreign governments that could use that to blackmail members of Congress or even put our lives at risk. How long till the Democrats start blaming President Trump for this?
The conservative underground meets later today on the Sean Hannity Show.
All right, this is a 30-second commercial, and I'm going to throw a lot of numbers at you, but please stay with me. In just 15 minutes, you can save 15% or more on your car insurance. Now, this company has been offering great rates and great service for over 75 years, and anytime you need help, you can speak to one of their trained specialists 24/7. The company is Geico. Just go to geico.com today and save 15% or more on car insurance. Sorry for all the numbers, and in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm out of time.
Finding great people to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's time to try ZipRecruiter, where 80% of jobs get a qualified candidate in just one day. How? Using powerful technology, ZipRecruiter matches your job to the right candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I-20 eastbound is backed up from the Red River Bridge all the way to Linwood Avenue right now due to a car broken down in the right-hand lane. And we have some traffic delays on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
KeelAccuWeather.com forecast, kind of cloudy, a chance of rain. Today near 90.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport. The KEEL Morning Show.
Good morning. It's 8:03. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Erin, local news, looking ready.
Police Association not happy about the plans for Cross Bayou. We'll tell you more about that. Could BRF be on the way out at University Health? And a delay for the aquarium.
So the question is the police union as unhappy about the proposed arena as Erin is about not winning the Powerball? Police union guy Michael Carter joins us in less than 10 minutes, plus more on the arena. I kind of like that name. Fletcher in sports, traffic, and weather all this hour here on KEEL.
The KEEL Morning Report, now on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
The Police Association calling out the city for spending money on basketball instead of officers. Matt Parker has that.
The Shreveport Police Officers Association has released a statement blasting the city for ignoring their needs, yet proposing a $100 million plus sports complex. The association says that for 11 years, they haven't been able to get pay raises or new equipment due to a lack of funding. They feel using $30 million for a new sports complex is a slap in the face of every officer in the city. Shreveport CAO Brian Crawford responded to the statement by saying officers get a 2% raise every year and that the city has spent nearly $5 million on new police vehicles. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Mayor Ollie Tyler talks about our problems of the past with sports teams.
I say that this is a one-time opportunity. It is unlike what people try to compare it to. You know, people who are successful had to have some failures before they got to be successful. So if people just stop doing anything, then to me, that is worse than failure.
A final vote on the proposal could come September 12th. Could BRF be on the way out at University Health? Reportedly, Governor John Bell Edwards is making moves to oust BRF as the state's partner for safety net hospitals in Shreveport and Monroe. Recently, BRF refused to sign a new contract because they felt the terms were unfair. Edwards was supposed to meet with local lawmakers today to discuss getting rid of BRF and look at alternative options, but those plans were changed due to Tropical Depression Harvey. However, both sides are still open to making a deal if terms can be reached. If you were planning to visit the new Shreveport Aquarium this month, well, you'll have to wait a little longer. Jake Woods, a spokesman, says that Planet Aqua Group is delaying the opening of the aquarium until late September or early October. Woods says some of the plans for the aquarium have changed, and the group has decided to add additional attractions and a new dome. The governor meeting with GOSEP to get updates on Tropical Storm Harvey. State climatologist Barry Keim says the system will be more of a rainmaker for most of Louisiana, but areas around the coast are looking at more complicated circumstances. He says it's not the time to be fishing in the Gulf.
Now, southwest and south central Louisiana could see some modest storm surge along the coast on the order of a couple of feet, but with high surf on top of that, bringing very dangerous rip current conditions along the coastal zone.
Calcasieu Parish Director of Emergency Preparedness Dick Grimion says they anticipate a lot of rain, and depending on the track, storm surge is also a possibility.
The rainfall seems pretty certain, and they're calling for 10 to 15 inches of rain with some localized areas, possibly as much as 25 inches.
Forecasters say Harvey could become a hurricane by tomorrow. A man was killed in Manny after his truck was hit by a train. According to police, the accident happened on Highway 6 Witnesses say the man in the truck ignored flashing lights to keep off the track. The impact caused the man to be ejected from his truck, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. Only one winning ticket for the Powerball jackpot from last night. It's worth $758.7 million. The winning ticket was sold in Massachusetts. LSU quarterback Danny Etling excited about being named the starter when the Tigers hit the field September 2nd against BYU in Houston. Etling says when Coach O broke the news to him, he initially joked that he needed to discuss an academic issue.
I was like, I'm in grad school. What can I possibly have issues with me? What have I done in the first week of grad school? He kind of realized, told me quickly it was a joke and everything, and told me I'd be the starter. So it was really cool to hear and awesome. And called my parents right after.
The Tigers are ranked 13 in the AP preseason poll. Partly cloudy today, the high temp only 87 degrees. Right now it's 75. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Nine past 8, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping an eye on some backed up traffic on I-20 eastbound. It's backed up to Linwood Avenue right now due to a broken down car in the right-hand lane on the Red River Bridge. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive just north of Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Not as hot, but still humid today. Clouds and sun, high 87. Partly cloudy, low 71 tonight. Partly sunny, high 89 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Good morning. It's 12 past 8. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. In studio is the president of the Shreveport Police Officers Association. Michael Carter is here. Hey, Mr. Mike, good to have you back. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So, 100 million plus. Started off at about 30 million. Well, 25 to 30, then to 100. Now at 140 million dollars for a proposed arena. 30 million would come from a bond issue, City of Shreveport, and you. And I would think the vast majority of policemen don't like this. Why?
Well, we've been asking for a substantial pay increase to go to an average salary hopefully someday to get to a competitive salary for 11 and a half years. The last pay raise we received was January 1st of 2003. That was 14 and a half years ago. We were very appreciative of the Hightower administration at that time for pushing that and helping us get that through. The minute that we saw that, there was a mayor's race thereafter he left office, we started doing numbers and trying to get it ready. The minute Cedric Glover took office, we started proposing pay raises, and we have been vetoed, we have been voted down, and we've been ignored.
You have to have known this has been in the works. As a matter of fact, there are rumors afoot, you heard it from Stephanie Lynch in our interview with her yesterday, that the deal is done. What do you know about that the mayor has not only the council votes, but maybe even, and I've heard from a couple of folks, that the Pelicans have already made a decision. What do you know? What have you heard?
I've not heard that, but my experience with city government with that is probably a factual statement. These deals are done long before they're done, and we understand that. However, as a police union, we're in a position to where we have to wait and see what comes out on the agenda, and that's what the average citizens of Shreveport are doing too, and that's where they've been deceived. They should expect a more transparent government. Sunshine laws apply.
What do you mean
in Louisiana.
by deceived, please?
Well, you want these deals to be made in a public venue under the Sunshine Laws. You want all the discussions to be up front, and they haven't been. I think from the minute that they started receiving negative input, then they started working the deals in a more secretive manner.
Michael Carter, he's a Shreveport Police Association. The mayor's office, Brian Crawford, the CAO, issued a response after you held your news conference opposing this proposal, saying that and I'm quoting, all police officers and firefighters after serving 3 years receive a 2% annual increase, including the last 3 years under the Tyler administration. It's called longevity pay. So you get 2% a year, correct?
Yes, that is a cost of living adjustment. And that is after your third anniversary, which could be, like in my case, 3 years and 9 months of your tenure. We're very appreciative of that. All right, we're not going to sit here and say that doesn't happen. What we want people to see is the comparative analysis that's done recently between us and the other agencies in our ICMA region, and you'll see that we're at 33,000, and they start out at once you get past Marshall, from 47.8 all the way up to 65.7.
Starting salary
That's
for a police officer.
And then you can turn around and take the payroll directly from the Shreveport Police payroll. You can look at my salary after 21 and a half years at the rank of sergeant with a master's degree. I still make less than a rookie in Plano or Frisco.
How is that impacting our department? Are we losing officers?
They're leaving. We've had 10 leave this month. We've had several go to the state police. We've had many go to Texas, and they're going to keep leaving. Some of them are just going out into the private sector. You can make $33,000 a year almost anywhere.
Are they retiring, or are they moving to other jobs?
3 retired, and the rest of them went to other jobs.
Is it the $30 million borrowing bond issue that bothers you the most? Because the case can be made, and I'm sure it is for the folks who are in favor of this, that we'll build this great sports arena and retail shops and restaurants, and a lot of people will be hired, and a lot of revenue for the city will be generated, which in fact could pay for police cars, police raises, and infrastructure, for example. What do you think about that?
In 1994, I was a young security policeman on Barstow Air Force Base. My wife at the time was going to school to be a teacher at LSU Shreveport. We heard the same things on the news about the casinos. When the casinos come in, teachers, firefighters, police officers are never going to have to worry about money again. They're always going to be the best paid. In the South, you never have to look at it again. This was the same sales pitch we got for that, and now you see that we are the lowest in the ICMA region for a city our size 25 years later. So we're not buying that song and dancing.
Stephanie Lynch, I asked her that same question. Her quote was, "That's a pipe dream." Is that, you would agree with her?
I agree.
Do you think this is going to pass at the city council? It's already done.
I think that their minds are already set. I don't think what they expected was organized opposition. I do not think. I think that they constantly underestimate how the public trusts the police.
Speaking of organized opposition, what are you and the other police officers who think this is a really bad idea doing to let the city council folks, your specific representatives, know how they feel?
Well, we're holding the mayor and the city administrative officer, Brian Crawford, and of course the city attorney. He was in there with him. We're holding them all accountable publicly. You're going to be accountable for this. You're not going to sit here and ignore us for 3 years and tell us that there's no money in the bank, and all of a sudden now you can come up with $140 million, which is exponentially growing. I mean, this thing is going to be more and more and more and more.
Well, they'll tell you that $100 million is private investment and revenue bonds. It's not, the revenue bonds are something you can't use for salaries. You know that. I mean, you're a smart man.
They need to tell that to somebody that has never seen this work before. You're going to get in there. There's going to be overruns, construction overruns, project overruns. It'll come all the way down to the concrete guy will have to have more money. And anytime you build something, you end up going to 15-20% overrun. Look at 15 to 20% of $140 million. That's a lot of money.
You said that Brian Crawford's statement yesterday, his response to your letter and your press conference, was repetitive, redundant, and false.
Yes,
what about it was false?
Well, first of all, the city of Shreveport needs to stop trying to take credibility for state supplemental pay. Every deputy, firefighter, and police officer in the state of Louisiana that is post-certified receives that pay, and we receive it directly from the state. We filed a lawsuit in 1993. Leslie Turner filed that lawsuit, and it was settled in 1997 that extracted that pay from city pay. That is a direct deposit that comes from the state of Louisiana every month to every one of these individuals, including myself. They need to quit touting that as a part of their pay package. We are proud to get it. We get it from the state. We thank the legislators and the governor. That is not city pay. All right? You minus 6,000 from these numbers that I have here before you, that is city pay.
Mm-hmm.
And, they want to come in and say, well, they do get paid this. We do get paid, but you don't write the check. And that's the honesty.
The G League team of the Pelicans, would you be sitting here opposing it if there was no city money involved? Do you still think that we don't need to be starting any new sort of development in our community?
I don't think anyone in Shreveport that watches the news can say that we're not in a public safety crisis. We don't have enough officers to respond to the needs of the citizens. We have a shooting rate that's out of control for a city our size, and the priority should be public safety right now. All right, we've got bathrooms down at the police department where three out of 4 commodes work. All right, and you need to be fixing things. You need to be improving your infrastructure, even at our own department. But you need to focus on your human resources within your police department and get your retention level to where it works. Once you get your money right, you get your police officers paid correctly, you get your city employees paid correctly, you got the money in the bank, you can call in and order whatever you want. You can bring in basketball teams, baseball teams, football teams, whatever you want. But they're borrowing this money.
Will you, as police union president, will you specifically over the next few days, next few weeks, be canvassing city officials, to be precise, a city councilman?
No one has any doubt where we're at this point in time. No one has had any doubt. What I've said and waited on, and I've been blamed by a lot of my members. They're like, when are we going to do this? When are we going to do that? When are we going to do this? You have to wait till someone takes a move. Now they've made a move, all right? Mm-hmm. Last year they put a potential pay raise on the city council agenda. I waited. The mayor pulled it. I went right back to our proposal, all right? You have to watch. It's like a local lesson in civil government. It's not going to be anything until it goes before the council and the vote process starts. That started Tuesday, and that's why we're doing what we're doing now.
It's almost budget time. We got to take a break, but can we talk about what you're hopeful for as the mayor starts to prepare next year's budget? And I want to ask you a question or two about, the chief came out and talked a little bit about the crime numbers and how we have turned a corner. I think you might disagree. Can you stick around?
Sure.
19 past 8, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Traffic update from Ruben. It's right now.
We have reports of a major accident on Burtcoon's Industrial Loop near Professional Drive. And we're still looking at some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound starting at Spring and Market. It's backed up past Airline Drive right now. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Not as hot today. It'll still be humid, though. Clouds and sun with a high of 87. Patchy clouds, low 71 tonight. Partly sunny, high 89 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Get public safety where it needs to be.
Shreveport city leaders to pay officers more than
22 past 8, sports time. Here's Fletch on KEEL.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Coach Ed Orgeron had his first call-in show last night. Actually, it's kind of more of a tweet-in show now. And I guess the biggest news that came out of it is that Dante Jackson, one of the fastest guys in all of college football, will return punts for LSU this year. He rotated with Darius Geis last year as a kick returner, but he's going to be handling punts this time around. In baseball last night, the Rangers climbed back to 500 with a 7-5 win over the Angels in 10 innings. The Rangers scored 3 runs in the top of the 10th to pick up the win. Adrian Beltre belted a pair of solo home runs, one in the second, one in the fourth. Robinson Chirinos sandwiched one in the third inning. The Rangers have not been over 500 since June 27th. They'll try to reach that one game over 500 mark against the Angels today. The Astros knocked off Washington 6-1. That snapped a 9-game losing streak against the Nationals. Jake Marisnick hit a solo home run in the 5th to give the Astros a 2-1 lead. Max Stassi hit a solo homer in the 8th to make it 3-1. And former LSU Tiger Alex Bregman put it out of reach with a 3-run blast in the 8th to make it 6-1. Mike Fiers picked up his first win since July 21st with a strong effort to improve to 8-8. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Twenty-five past 8, 1017 FM 710 KEEL. Still in studio is Michael Carter, president of the Shreveport Police Officers Association.
Michael, let me ask you this. We've talked a little bit about pay. We've talked about, crime has been an issue. The police chief came out a week or so ago and said we have made some headway with regard to crime. Would you agree with that? Do you think we're still in the weeds?
Since that day, there's been 4 shootings and 2 homicides.
Since that day?
Since that day. I'll let that rest on the public. We've got to take a very realistic approach to this. Like I said the last time I was here, this is not going to be a quick fix. You got to make a long-term project of revamping, restructuring, and taking care of the crime problem in Shreveport. You're not going to do it the way you used to do it, all right? The criminal element has adapted, and they've overcome the strategies that we've used. The short-term operations and projects that we put into place in the past, they're not going to work now. This is something's going to have to change.
I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but when you were here previously, what was it, Operation Long Haul? Was that what you like I said, not to put words in your mouth, but you kind of thought that is saying it was a joke? Is that too strong? How did that work out? Are we out of that money yet, the $150,000?
Well, I don't know if we're out of the money yet, but I do know that they're straining to get it staffed. They're straining even to get supervisors to staff it. The commanders are doing their best to try to take care of things inside their areas. But the truth is that we were exhausted and we were understaffed to start with. Now you add an extra project with extra overtime. Look, there's 7 to 10 hirebacks a day just to cover normal shifts, just to cover normal minimum staffing. So I said the last time I was here, where are you going to get the extra people? Because you're not going to invent people whenever it comes time to invent new projects or operations, and that's exactly what's happened.
2003, there was a quarter-cent sales tax passed. It was dedicated to police pay. Pay was raised 18%, which is a good pay raise. What would you hope could happen now? The mayor and the city administration will be in the process of doing budgets for next year here really soon, if not already. What would you be happy with if they came to you and said, Michael, here's what we're going to put in the budget for police next year.
Well, you got to understand, whenever I took that package to the former mayor, Keith Hightower, he almost fell out of his chair. I wrote this quarter cent, and I sent it to him, and we sat down. It's the first time we ever had a meeting and stuff, and he looked at me, and he goes, this is an election year. Do you want me to put this on the ballot? I mean, it was kind of comical looking back. It was very serious at the time, And but, he had the courage to do it. He had the courage to say, this is the right thing, and I'm going to do it. That was his exact words. So he did it. It was a success. It was a huge success. He even made the comment that he won his election by 75%, but we won the tax by 77%. And that spoke volumes. From the hearts and the minds of the people of Shreveport, they said, crime is a problem, police and fire is a priority, and we're going to give it to you. And I think it would happen again. But this administration refuses to go to the voters on our behalf. They refuse to take us and make us a priority, and that's the problem. All right, you're going to spend $140 million somewhere, spend it on your public safety. I don't think anybody in this city would complain about that.
Have you sat down with the mayor? Have you sat down with Brian Crawford?
Not since February the 17th of 2015. We've asked for repetitive meetings, and Brian Crawford said specifically we're not going to get one.
Why not? Why are you not allowed a meeting?
They don't want to meet with us, all right? Brian Crawford does not hold the police department or the Police Officers Association as a priority. He continually disrespects us. He has a lack of respect for police officers. I don't know where this come from over his tenure. It's not new. He's always had it, and we're tired of it, and we're not going to be silent about it anymore.
If the mayor's office came to the, obviously they would go to the chief and say, we're going to put a 5% pay raise in for police. Is that a good faith effort? Would you be happy with that?
Well, we're so desperate at this point that we can't turn down anything. There's 3% proposed in the budget. We're thankful. We're appreciative. And we thank everybody for looking at it, the city council, the mayor, and everyone else. But let's be realistic, all right? After the 3% is done, do we look like ingrates whenever we hold up the chart that we've been holding up before they put in the 3%? This is the realistic numbers. This is where it's at. This is our actual payroll printed out of city payroll. 24-year sergeants and lieutenants are making less than rookie officers in our ICMA region. ICMA region, you go there day one without any experience, but they pay you for experience. So there's a chance that you're going to be making more than you make here after 20 years when you start day one there, because they're going to pay you for your experience, and that's what people are doing. They're leaving.
Michael Carter, Shreveport Police Association, we can't thank you enough for your time and being so candid.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic update coming up right now. Erin's got local news in a second. By the way, here's Ruben. Traffic time.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on 3132 westbound near Eastburg Coons Industrial Loop. And we're still dealing with some backed-up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. It's backed up almost to Airline Drive right now. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Not as hot today. It'll still be humid, though. Clouds and sun with a high of 87. Patchy clouds, low 71 tonight. Partly sunny, high 89 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Of information. KEEL News now.
Governor John Bel Edwards will meet at GOSEP to get updates on Tropical Storm Harvey. State climatologist Barry Kime says Harvey should make landfall around central Texas coastline sometime tomorrow evening. He says once that happens, the system is expected to turn eastward and slow down. There's the potential that over 20 inches of rain, with Houston, Galveston being the ground zero.
But as I noted, southwestern Louisiana could also see some pretty extreme heavy rainfall, and there's possibilities for heavy rainfall really all across the state.
Police Association is calling out the city for spending money on basketball instead of officers.
I think it's time that we're all honest with each other. You get your priorities straight. You get public safety where it needs to be. You get your fire department and police department functioning at a progressive level. And then, when you have the money in the bank, you can spend it however you see fit.
Michael Carter with the Shreveport Police Officers Association says for 11 years they haven't been able to get pay raises or new equipment due to a lack of funding. Now, Shreveport CAO Brian Crawford responded to the statement, saying officers get a 2% raise every year and that the city has spent nearly $5 million on new police vehicles. Now, on that proposal, we did ask Mayor Tyler about who will have ownership of the land.
We own the land. I mean, the development, you know, they'll bring private people to come to the table to do the development, but we'll own the land.
The city council expected to take a final vote next month, but Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch tells KEEL News, quote, "This is a done deal." If you were planning to visit the new Shreveport Aquarium this month, well, you'll have to wait a little longer. Jake Woods says Planet Aqua Group is delaying the opening of the new aquarium until late September or early October. Could BRF be on the way out at University Health? Matt Parker with that.
Reportedly, Governor John Bell Edwards is making moves to oust BRF as the state's partner for safety net hospitals in Shreveport and Monroe. Recently, BRF refused to sign a new contract because they felt the terms were unfair. Edwards was supposed to meet with local lawmakers this morning to discuss getting rid of BRF and to take a look at alternative options. But those plans were changed due to Tropical Depression Harvey. However, both sides are still open to making a deal if terms can be reached. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
A man was killed in Manny after his truck was hit by a train. According to police, the accident happened on Highway 6. Witnesses say the man in the truck ignored the flashing lights to keep off the track. The impact caused him to be ejected from the truck, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. A local man convicted for attempted murder, Kenneth Harper, facing 50 years in prison for attempting to kill his girlfriend. Harper shot Alicia Woods with a shotgun, nearly blasting off her right arm. Harper due back in court for sentencing later this year. The FTC says it will not block Amazon's $13 billion takeover of Whole Foods. A union that represents food industry workers asked the FTC to scrutinize the deal. LSU quarterback Danny Etling excited about being named the starter when the Tigers take on BYU. The fifth-year senior says he's never entered a season without competing hard for the starting job.
It's something that I've always embraced, and it's something that hopefully I'll look for at the next level as well. It's something that I've done is always compete for jobs, and it's something that I understand how to do, and nothing will be handed to you, and it's something, you know, that I'm proud of.
Tigers open the season September 2nd against BYU in Houston. And yes, there was one winning Powerball ticket. It was sold in the Boston, Massachusetts area. It's the largest grand prize won by a single lottery ticket in U.S. history, worth more than $758 million. Partly cloudy. We'll see a little sunshine today. The high temp near 87 degrees. Right now it is 75. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
It is 8:36, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin, the aquarium opening is being delayed by how much? A month to
2 months. Yeah, it could be the end of September, October now.
The explanation is because it's going to be better then than it would have been now.
I think so. I think that's what they're saying. Yeah, they have some of the plans have changed, and they've decided to add some additional attractions
So
and a new dome.
Why didn't they? What?
You're asking the wrong person. I don't know. We'll have to
but
get old Jakey on.
Why didn't they have? I mean, what late-breaking idea a week to 10 days before opening did they come up with that said, "Holy, we should have"? How did we not think of this?
And I don't know how you don't know you need a new dome. Why do you know you need a new dome at this late stage? That kind of baffles me.
Here's the deal. And I mentioned this last hour, and in case anybody from Planet Aqua might be listening, it's look, I'm assuming for the moment that you guys are completely of goodwill.
Oh, they are.
That you're legit, that you want the best for your company and our city and the people who will go to your aquarium.
Mm-hmm.
But understand, we in Shreveport are a little
snake bit.
Snake bit.
Mm-hmm.
So when you tell us,
can you say Elio?
A week, can you say fill in the blank? Can you say Red River District?
Yeah.
Can you say General Motors? Can you say I can sit here and do this all morning long? So understand, when you tell the people of Shreveport, although your reason may be 1,000% legit.
We're thinking Jimmy Davis Bridge, you know?
When you tell us a week before the opening that there's going to be a delay, everybody in town is throwing up their hands, rolling their eyes,
Here
and saying,
we go again.
"Oh my God, here we go again."
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm assuming it's probably not your fault. It's probably something that if I sat down with you or you sat down with us, we go, "Oh, okay, I get it." But understand, people in Shreveport, their first reaction is to roll their eyes and say,
"Here we go again."
Here we go again. 839, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update right now. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on 3132 westbound near East Bercoons Industrial Loop. And we're still dealing with some backed-up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. It's backed up almost to Airline Drive right now. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Not as hot today. It'll still be humid, though. Clouds and sun with a high of 87. Patchy clouds, low 71 tonight. Partly sunny, high 89 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
It's 841. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884. Specifically, your thoughts on the O Arena, the O Dome, now totaling about $140 million. If you look on his Facebook page, City Councilman Oliver Jenkins, probably a manifesto-like couple 100 to 300 word explanation of his let's move on with this vote. And he points out, Mr. Oliver points out in his social media post that the vote earlier this week, 5-2, is not binding, doesn't allocate any money, or does it bind us to any sort of bond issue vote. And he also points out that the one on the 12th does not do that either. Now, I was talking to a real estate guy yesterday, and are you like me at this point? Are you going out every single person you meet? You're asking them what they think about this?
Oh, they're coming up to me and telling me. what they think about it.
Give me percentages.
95% no.
Really?
95% no. Well, you say a word or two. I'll give you our percentages on our poll too.
So I was talking to a real estate guy yesterday, and he told me here's his fear. And you and I sort of talked about this a little bit yesterday. He said his fear is that once the retail area is built for the restaurants, the stores, the fill in the blank, and believe me, when I said yesterday, and I said, what's going to be the difference between, how is this not a Villaggio with a gymnasium? How is this not Boardwalk with a basketball court? And you said, no, it's completely different. And you cite as the biggest difference the residential aspect.
And the Red River. It's a big deal.
It's not the Boardwalk's not on the river. The Boardwalk's on the river.
Well, I understand, but it doesn't have any residential.
Okay. That was the point you made yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking to this real estate guy, and he says, here's my biggest concern about this whole thing. I said, what's that? He said, when you get into the retail part of this development, and understand, and I said this in the 6 o'clock hour,
Mm-hmm.
I said, what is it as negative as everybody, when I tell you 95% of people I talk to don't think this is a good idea, even after looking at Miss Ollie's presentation at the city council on, Monday at the work session and Tuesday at the meeting. And I keep asking myself, what does, and the company from Birmingham is Corporate Realty, and they've done this kind of thing in quite a few markets with a great degree of success. And I'm saying to myself, these guys are in business to make money. They're in business to succeed, to make lots and lots of money, not only for themselves, but for the municipalities that they aim to serve. And I'm thinking, they came to us, by all accounts. They approached the city. So what do they know that 95% of the people in Shreveport don't? What do they see?
We approach them, just FYI. Make sure we get that.
Do we see? Depends on who you ask.
No, William Bradford told us yesterday that he got put in touch with them by one of his law school friends and said, here's the company that can do this.
What do they see in this market?
That's the big question.
Or does it go back to we as Shreveporters' view of our community, that our response is, our visceral response is the same as, the aquarium's going to be delayed for 6 to 8 weeks. And we go, oh, God, here we go again. Do we in Shreveport have such a, oh, God, here we go again mentality that no matter what happens, we don't think of it as, things will still be okay? Are we so inundated, inured with disaster and bad planning and wasted money that everybody initially, without really thinking about it, says, it's going to suck, because it's Shreveport, it's got to suck.
That's the part of Shreveport I don't like. The people that are like, oh, this is never going to work, it's going to fail, it's destined to fail.
What is it that Corporate Realty from Birmingham, probably a multi-100 million, if not $1 billion company, sees here? I mean, look, they're smart. It's their business. It's not like Ollie Tyler and William Bradford put together a presentation like an 8th grade science project and sold them a bill of goods.
I mean, they're not ready to flush $140 million down the tubes.
Exactly.
And they must see a potential. But I'm telling you, our poll right now at KEELnews.com, 86% of the folks who took the poll, and we're looking at over 1,500 people have taken this poll, 86% say no. Hang on.
Go ahead.
11% say, yeah, good idea. And about another 3% say, I don't care.
So I'm talking to this real estate guy yesterday, and he says, here's what scares me. I said, what's that? He said, the retail, the restaurants, the stores. I said, what do you mean? What scares you? He said, when they finish with the construction, it's got to be, because it's new, it's got to be the highest rental cost for any kind of store, any kind of retail outlet in the city. He said it's got to be. Now,
why? I don't understand that.
Because it's new. Because it's got to be the highest. It's going to be the most.
No, because it's not going to be the heaviest trafficked area.
It's going to be the most. This is a real estate guy telling me this.
I know.
A guy whose job is to sell and rent retail space is telling me that it's going to be the highest in the city. He said, when that happens, he said, no local store, no local restaurant is going to be able to afford to be there.
See, I think he's wrong. I think they're going to have to get tenants in there.
Yes, they will. National tenants. And in fact, one of the questions we didn't ask yesterday because we were pressed for time was a lot of these planned developments come with an already done deal with a lot of national chains. Maybe Applebee's or Chili's or Old Navy. I'm just pulling names out of my butt. Starbucks, fill in the blank. The point being, what is going to be there that'll be this hot come? Look, this is a real estate guy talking to me, not me making stuff up. So when he says his fear is that you're going to get all these national chains in there, and he said, first of all, when you get them, most of the money's not staying here. It's going out of the market.
It's jobs, though. He
said it's all surface economy jobs. What good does that do us? And then he said, after about 6 months to a year, when people realize that everything that's there is exactly the same as on Airline Drive or Uri Drive, what's going to be the draw? That from a retail real estate guy. His concern. 849, 1017 FM, 710 Keel traffic and weather updates. Right now, here's Rapid Ruben.
The intersection of Kings Highway and Line Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we're still looking at some heavy backed-up traffic on I-20 eastbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Lakeshore Drive right now. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Not as hot, but still humid today. Clouds and sun, high 87. Partly cloudy, low 71 tonight. Partly sunny, high 89 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
News from the classrooms, the hospitals, and the casinos right here on 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KeelNews.com. Here on 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KeelNews.com.
I'm Jennifer.
It is 8 before 9 o'clock, 1017 FM, 710 Keel Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Coach Ed Orgeron had his first call-in show last night. Actually, it's kind of more of a tweet-in show now. And I guess the biggest news that came out of it is that Dante Jackson, one of the fastest guys in all of college football, will return punts for LSU this year. He rotated with Darius Geis last year as a kick returner, but he's going to be handling punts this time around. In baseball last night, the Rangers climbed back to 500 with a 7-5 win over the Angels in 10 innings. The Rangers scored 3 runs in the top of the 10th to pick up the win. Adrian Beltre belted a pair of solo home runs, one in the second, one in the fourth. Robinson Chirinos sandwiched one in the third inning. The Rangers have not been over 500 since June 27th. They'll try to reach that one game over 500 mark against the Angels today. The Astros knocked off Washington 6-1. That snapped a 9-game losing streak against the Nationals. Jake Marisnick hit a solo home run in the 5th to give the Astros a 2-1 lead. Max Stassi hit a solo homer in the 8th to make it 3-1. And former LSU Tiger Alex Bregman put it out of reach with a 3-run blast in the 8th to make it 6-1. Mike Fiers picked up his first win since July 21st with a strong effort to improve to 8-8. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Put it at 10 too for me.
855 1017 FM 710 Keel. I'm singing again seemed like a good idea.
18 bottles of wine. You messed it up.
Okay, 2, 3, 4.
18 bottles of wine in my pants. 18 bottles of wine. You pull it out, drink it right down. 17 bottles of wine in my pants. 17 bottles of wine in my pants. 17 bottles of wine.
Pull it out,
drink it right down. 16 bottles. We suck. How did she get away with all that stuff? She's not in custody yet.
I can apologize again. I can apologize again to the clerk.
Yeah, you should.
I said, how do that security guard at that liquor store never notice?
How'd they miss all the bulges?
And that, well, because
she put a big bottle, and don't look at my cleavage, please. She pulls her bra and shirt out.
Watch out, there's going to be an echo.
She put, hello.
Here's the deal.
She puts a big bottle down there, and it disappears.
Well, that's not the only place she put a big bottle, and it disappeared. Which is my point.
Man.
I apologize to the clerk and or clerks. I apologize to the security guard that I said, how could this clanking woman walk past you, walk right out with 18 bottles of stuff and you not know? I took a real close-up look at the video.
Yeah.
Ugh. I'm telling you,
it vanishes.
She's
Ta-da!
like, ta-da, she's the David Copperfield of Courvoisier.
Yep.
I don't know how she did it, but it's I know exactly how she did it.
The Crack Daniels just goes poof.
That's a new brand. You may want to look for it at a local store near
or not.
you. 857. Here's Kim Commando.
It's never been more affordable to be a Kim's Club member. So stay up to date the easy and fun way. Because these days, you can't know too much about technology.
And it's like you're our friend on the radio, and I just think it's awesome.
Go now to club.commando.com. That's Komando, club.commando.com.
The intersection at Milam Street and Hearn Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now, and we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Hamilton Road in Bossier City. If you know something we don't, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Not as hot, but still humid today. Clouds and sun, high 87. Partly cloudy, low 71 tonight. Partly sunny, high 89 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast,